Welcome to Learning by Doing. In this episode, I get a new crewmate, sail from Honiara over to Roderick Bay, and spend some great times getting to know the locals. And to finish up, a little slideshow of my favourite photos. So this morning we left Honiara about 9:30 and sailed over to the north end of Gailey, which is part of the Florida group. So after Tom left, I was thinking of sailing along solo for the rest of this trip, but then I remembered this guy called Dion who had contacted me right after Tom had come on board and said he was very flexible and could fly anywhere. So I sent him an email on the off chance that he could get to Honiara within 3 or 4 days, and he happened to be online and wrote straight back and said he could make it. So yeah, this is Dion.
I come from Australia, parents are from Finland. I do a bit of trading online and maybe a little bit of cryptocurrency. I kind of live this like nomadic lifestyle as well. I have this kind of dream that in a few years, or when it suits my family, that maybe we can also join in and buy a sailing boat and maybe kind of further that nomadic lifestyle.
The 30-mile passage over to Roderick Bay went pretty quickly, and before long we were rounding the point, and a young guy from the village called Joseph came out and met us and bought us a gift, and actually started singing us a song straight away on his homemade guitar.
Okay, this song is made the yacht. Habate pura pura is to mean the white sail. Okay, when you come in Tabula Point, I see the mats. I see the white sail. Okay.
Okay. Joseph's a really cool guy, and we actually spent pretty much all the time with him. He was our constant companion for the week we were there. Took us on cruises around the island, took us fishing, showed us spots, introduced us to his family, which was everyone. They have a real community there. It's not like our community in the West anymore. They don't really see things as mine and theirs, and they just have a real connection. Everyone is related somehow. The kids just get looked after. It was really nice to see that. And they live in such a lush environment. They just wander off into the jungle and get stuff, and they make their houses out of the palm fronds, so people just go and cut that and hang out and sing together and talk together, and everything's just really relaxed, and they just make it all happen. I didn't see any conflict the whole time I was there. So we're in the cocoa bean plantation. You break them open, here they are. This is one. You break them open when they're ripe like this, eat them and suck off the white part, and then spit in a bucket. And these are cocoa beans in here. And then you put them out to dry in the sun for 5 days, and they sell them in Honiara. But the white flesh is very sweet. It's like a lolly like you would buy in the shop. So the kids and everyone are just up here all day eating these and spitting them in a bucket, and that's the work. Best work in the world. Joseph then played us a few tunes on his homemade panpipes. Even the parrots love to dance to that music. And then his uncle Willie came and showed us some of his wood carvings. He's the only wood carver in the village. And then we went round to his house and actually watched him doing some work. Next up, we wandered over to check out the World Discoverer. It's quite an interesting story. This big ship actually hit a rock out in the bay, and all the people got rescued off it, and then the captain drove it into Roderick Bay and put it up on the beach basically so it wouldn't sink. And then by the time the salvage operation came from Australia, they realised that everything had been pillaged off it, all the windows and machinery and all the booze and all this, and if you walk around the village you can see parts of it all through the houses, and everywhere you look there's antlers of deer hanging up and all these things that, you know, obviously didn't come from the island. So it's quite funny, and it's turned into this playground. It's just a paradise for kids there, and everyone loves it, and it's quite a cool thing. I actually anchored the boat right outside Joseph's house and his family, so we were constantly visited by members of his family in their canoes. Kids would come out and they'd bring us coconuts and bananas and nuts and, well, anything we sort of asked for that they had, really. No one around here really has outboard motors. They just get around in these dugout canoes. They make them themselves. They go up in the forest and chop down a massive tree and spend a few days digging it out, and they last a few years, and they actually cover some incredible distances. They think nothing of paddling 5 or 6 kilometres across the bay to go and visit somebody for a coffee or something. It's pretty incredible, and the kids start with 3, 4 years old. They're already paddling around in canoes, and they're just getting into it, and it's pretty incredible. Dion had a go at it too, and he actually took to it pretty quick. It was quicker than I thought. I was convinced he was going to fall out. That's why I filmed him. But yeah, he's ripping around in no time at all. So it's pretty stable little machines. You're doing pretty good, mate. Better than I thought you would.
It goes really well. It's actually really stable.
Slideshow. What a perfect start to the Solomon Islands. Next up, Morova Lagoon.